In the music section, we have the update on the Black Dahlia record, their first since losing vocalist Trevor Sternad. We have Corey Taylor thinks that Corey Taylor might be getting old. We have Mushroomhead announcing new music and some drama behind the scenes there. And we've got some other stuff to talk about. So let's do the music news. Welcome, nerds, to this week's edition of the Music News. This is just a section, one section of six, count them, six other sections that we do over on the main channel in a show I like to call Week in Nerddom, where we talk about all of the nerdy things. You can find a link to that show down in the description or at the end of this video. Now let's talk about new music, touring information, and other generally interesting things to do with the music news. You thought I was going to say generally nerdy, didn't you? In music news this week, we have no follow-ups or corrections. We do have some new music to talk about. And first up on that list is the first instance of Mushroomhead in today's episode. Mushroomhead has dropped a new track, Fall in Line. So there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes with these guys. We're going to get into that in the regular news section for music. But specifically talking about this song as it pertains to the new music section, I mean, if you like the Waylon era of Mushroomhead, if you like Save Your Sorrow, Beautiful Songs for Ugly Children, I think he was even on The Righteous and the Butterfly, then this is going to be familiar ground. It's a little bit more aggressive than we're used to from that era of Mushroomhead, but this is not technically that era of Mushroomhead. It's just reminiscent thereof. Not my favorite stuff for Mushroomhead, but still Mushroomhead, so I kind of dig it. This is a mild recommend. It is good, though, to see Gravy return to the fold, and you can definitely see him showcased in this video. Next up is the first of two times we're going to be talking about the Black Dahlia murder for this episode. This is their new track, Aftermath. This is the first new track with their new vocalist, former guitar player Brian Eschbach, and he really leans into it. I feel like obviously it's not Trevor, so it's not the same vocals that we're used to hearing from Black Dahlia, but it is pretty close. Like, he's doing a pretty decent job of whatever you can do to approximate the awesome vocals that Trevor had. The video kind of doesn't really leave a whole lot to talk about, but the song itself, I mean, instrumentally, you're still getting the crazy, I don't even know how to describe, like, the blackened tech, aggressive, all of the things that Black Dahlia are, they still are that. Instrumentally, vocally, this is gonna take a little bit of getting used to, I think. Still a recommend, though. Next up, we have a new band called 7 Hours After Violet. If you pay attention to the anagram there, that's S-H-A-V. There was an O at the end at one point in this because this is Shavo from System of a Down's new band. The name of the song is Paradise, and they have two vocalists. Shavo, they're getting into the heavy really, really hard. And like, there's definitely shades of System of a Down in here, but really not what you're expecting. Like, if you listen to Surge's solo stuff and you listen to Darren's solo stuff, because those two are the only ones who have solo stuff up until this point, as far as metal is concerned anyway, then you kind of see their contributions to System of a Down. And those are like, they wear those on their sleeve. They're there. The Shavo contributions, though, as far as the parallels to this 7 Hours After Violet, is a little bit more subtle and a lot more interesting. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Definitely go check this one out, especially if you like very aggressive music. Then we have the most recent All That Remains single has been released. It's called Let You Go. Of course, we gotta sing Jason Richardson's praise. Jason Richardson is a bit of a treasure, a national treasure at that. But I don't know that this song is quite as strong as Divine. Probably why they led with Divine, because that song is a banger, to say the least. This one, though, I don't know. This kind of falls into all of the things that are the reason why I didn't really get into All That Remains to begin with. To a much lesser degree, because I can still get into this track. It's just not, again, not quite as solid as Divine. Still a pretty hearty recommend, though. And for our last piece of new music this week, we're going to switch gears a little bit. We're going to get out of the metal. We're going to get into some 90s techno, apparently. Fatboy Slim is putting out new music. His most recent single is called Role Model. You can find links to all of these down in the description. If you are into some dance music, if you like the EBM, if you will, then this is going to be exactly what you're looking for. I don't know that Fatboy Slim has ever put out bad music, and this is just continuing with that streak of really great, danceable, even just chill music. You don't even have to get up and move, though you're gonna want to. This is totally something you could listen to while like studying or doing research, it would seem. So yeah, absolutely recommend Fatboy Slim. I don't know that I would ever not. Once again, all links for those videos are down in the description, so you can go check them out for yourself, form your own opinion, then come back here and tell me how wrong I am. But let's move now into tours and festivals. We have one big tour that has been announced since we spoke last, and that is GWAR. GWAR has announced that they are going on a new tour because they are the hardest working Scumdogs on the earth. They're headed back out on tour or continuing the tour. It's kind of hard to tell with these guys because they're so perpetually on tour. This time they're going out with Dark Funeral, Squid Pisser, and Cancer Bats. The name of this tour is The Stoned Age. It starts October 17th in Las Vegas, Nevada, runs through November 20th in Nashville, Tennessee. Tickets will be on sale this Friday. Pre-sale goes up today as you're watching this. Actually, no, yes, today as you're watching this. So go check it out. I don't have a link for pre-sales, so you're gonna have to go to GWAR's website and hope that you can find a link, the pre-sale password or whatever. So yeah, go check it out. That's gonna be awesome because GWAR is great. So let's move right along. Let's get into some regular ass news now, shall we? To start things off in regular ass news, we have Corey Taylor, Slipknot frontman, formerly of Stone Sour as well, and he's out on tour right now on his solo record, his second solo record, CMFT 2, and it's not going as well as had hoped, the tour, I would say, because he's had to cancel the last two shows. They're both festival shows. It was Nova Rock in Austria and then Rock for People in the Czech Republic. After he canceled that second one, the Rock for People gig, he posted to his social media and he said, quote, "To my friends in Austria, due to ongoing sickness, I will be canceling my performance at Nova Rock Festival on Thursday, June 13th. I am deeply sorry to have to cancel another performance, but my priority remains keeping our band and crew healthy while doing everything I can to rest and heal. I hope to see I hope to see my Austrian friends again very soon when I can give them the performance they deserve." So apparently he's come down with some sort of sickness and can't go out. He at least gave them, I believe, is about 24 hours notice, which is better than some, because I've definitely been at the door of the venue when the band has announced they're too sick to perform before. It's not a good time. So yeah, at least there was that. But I don't know, we've been hearing a lot more about Corey Taylor's behind-the-scenes antics recently. I say antics because it makes it sound a lot more cool than just him aging. But yeah, that's kind of what this feels like. This kind of feels like he's used to going on tour 300 days out of the year, and as he gets pushing into his 60s almost, like he's definitely mid-50s at this point, and just can't really perform at that level anymore. His body is starting to break down, it sounds like, and just getting old, man. So you can't really hold that against him necessarily, though I feel like should probably take the clue from his body and just schedule accordingly from now on so this doesn't happen again in the future. But again, can't really fault the guy because you can't anticipate this kind of stuff until you're in the middle of it. So from there, let's talk about the Black Dahlia Murder. Black Dahlia Murder has finally given us some information for their next record, which will be, again, the first record with new vocalist, where did his name go? Brian Eschbach. I have to read it because I can't remember the Eschbach. Since we lost, again, Trevor Sternad a few years ago, this is going to be their first record without Trevor. The release date is September 27th. It is going to be via Metal Blade Records, and it is going to be titled Servitude. They released the first track. We talked about it in the new music section. It's good. I don't know if it's quite to the level of what we were expecting from Black Dahlia Murder, but that's probably just transitional adjustments to be made inside my own ears. Hopefully the next single kind of hooks me in a little bit better, or just the record when it launches. All right, so our final piece of regular-ass news for this episode is a little bit twofold. First off, it is Mushroomhead has announced a new record to go along with their new single that they just released. The new record is going to be called Call the Devil. It will be out sometime this year. I was unable to find an exact release date. A couple of really cool things going on behind the scenes. Well, one really cool thing going on behind the scenes is that Gravy, Dave Felton, Skinny's brother, so Skinny is the drummer on the records now, it would seem, because this is all changed. There's a whole lot of drama going on. So let's talk about the new record real quick. New record, going to be out this year. First single, it's great. I can totally see what they are trying to do here, and I believe that it will be okay. I don't know that it's going to be great, but it's going to be at least okay. Gravy's back. Gravy, I've actually met Gravy, had beers with the dude. He's a really cool cat. And we have, all right, so let's get into the drama real quick. Also announced within the last couple of weeks, I didn't see the date because it was kind of secondary to the drama associated with Mushroomhead these days. Also announced rather recently, we'll say, is another Mushroomhead project titled Jeffrey Nothing's Mushroomhead. So this is kind of, what is it, Priest? This is kind of a Priest situation. We have KK Downing's Priest, and then we have the actual Judas Priest, and they're not the same, even though they kind of perform some of the same material. That's kind of happening with Mushroomhead now. Jeffrey Nothing is starting Jeffrey Nothing's Mushroomhead, and Jeffrey himself is signed to Suburban Noise Records as a solo artist. So the Mushroomhead project is not signed to a record label yet, but it does have the support of other former vocalist Waylon Rivas. So Waylon was the guy who replaced J-Man when J-Man left the first time. Apparently J-Man left since the last record, so he's not going to be on this new record. So J-Man's out of Mushroomhead again. And we have Rick Thomas, there we go. Rick Thomas, Stitch, the one-time keyboard and sampleist, has also quit Mushroomhead. So now he's just doing Ventana. And so much rearranging is going on. So Skinny, again, Felton, the other Felton, I can't think of his name right now. It's in the notes, isn't it? Somewhere, yes, please. Gravy, Skinny, nope, not there. Anyway, Gravy's brother Skinny, who is founding member, Gravy founding member, Skinny founding member, Jeffrey Nothing founding member, J-Man founding member. I'm pretty sure, no, Rick came in once they put out the Eclipse XX. I think that was when he came in, is when they recorded XX the first time. So he's not founding member, but he's been there for a long damn time, and so it's kind of noteworthy that he left. Actually got to interview Stitch. Hopefully I can find a way to link that somewhere here, because I don't do well with the cards. But yes, we have just all this drama. The support definitely from Waylon for the Jeffrey Nothing Mushroomhead record. Plus, I saw one outlet which didn't really have much in the way of detail, just a passing reference to the fact that J-Man also is apparently doing something in support of Jeffrey Nothing's Mushroomhead. And we have Tommy Church, who was once a guitar player in Mushroomhead for about 2 record cycles. He's going to be doing something with Jeffrey Nothing's Mushroomhead. So this really feels like a family at war. And I'm kind of sitting back with the popcorn going, who's going to win? Because I'm kind of down for both sides. I can understand that Skinny's probably very difficult to work with, which is why there are so many riffs, but like, some of the guys have made it work. Dr. F, I think, is the current bass player, one of the primary songwriters these days. He's the one that's stuck around the longest of the modern era of Mushroomhead. And also, I was going to say, since Stitch left, Skinny is going from drums as far as live is concerned, because he's still recording the studio drums. But as far as the live performance is concerned, Skinny's going to be doing samples, and they have a different drummer on the kit for the live performances. So it's just this weird, like, going crazy, whatever. So yeah, that's Mushroomhead right now. New record out soon. When we do hear more about the Jeffrey Nothing project, we will talk about it. When we get more singles from the proper Mushroomhead project, we will talk about that as well. So let's continue on. That kind of brings us to the end of the section, except for music suggestion for the week. We're going to feed into the drama, and that is Mushroomhead's XX recordings. So there are two different versions of this record. I strongly suggest the Eclipse version of this record, not the, I think it was Universal was who they re-released it through. Don't listen to that one if you can avoid it, because not only did they cut out the secret song, but they remixed. They didn't really re-record much. They did re-record a couple of other tracks from previous records, but that's kind of a different situation. They remixed the record. So some of the vocals, of a good chunk of the vocals, especially if you're listening to the J-Man vocals, sound like he's singing in the shower. Whereas the Eclipse version of this record is kind of fantastic all over the place. So yeah, if you can help it, listen to the Eclipse record. There are, like I said, 3 extra tracks on the label version of this record, which are good, but again, J-Man's vocals kind of sound like he's singing in the shower, so can't really recommend that. But that is your suggestion of the week, Mushroomhead's. That brings us to the end of the video, nerds. Thank you very much for joining me for the news. Once again, there is a full and probably much more up-to-date and recent episode of the news, the full-length version, if you will, called The Week in Nerddom over on the main channel, linked down in the description, and probably link popping up somewhere around my face right about now. So click on that, go check that out as well, or if you prefer your news in more truncated pieces, then by all means just stick around here and go check out some of the other stuff we offer on this channel. Thank you very much for joining me. We will see you in the next one. Before we go, always remember, nerds, that if it is generally nerdy, it's probably here.